Joining us now is Mark Regev, senior advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and former Israeli ambassador to the UK. Ambassador, thanks for taking the time. The IDF announced that there were these 3 explosions in the North Gaza Strip this morning, and according to the IDF, several fighters were injured. Hamas is blaming Israel, calling this a clear violation of the truce agreement. So just to clarify right now, what's going on here? Is the current ceasefire holding?
So we've obviously had an incident. Our forces returned fire. But from our perspective, I think the incident is closed and we are still on, I believe, for the release of 10 additional hostages, women and children, tonight. And if that goes ahead, that'll take the number of released hostages to 60. That's a number that is increasingly impressive. We are working hard together with Washington, together with President Biden, to get as many of these women and children out as is possible.
So how long is Israel hoping this pause in fighting will last?
So we've made our position clear, and it's been clear for days now. We agree to extend the ceasefire every day for an additional 10 hostages. So as long as Hamas keeps facilitating the release of hostages, this humanitarian pause can continue. So in many ways, those in the international community who are interested in the continuation of this pause, they should be urging Hamas, pressuring Hamas, keep releasing hostages.
We know the hostages so far have been all women and children as young as 2, as old as 85, and there are 51 so far, but there are adult men who are also taken hostage by Hamas. These are fathers and husbands and sons. Are there negotiations happening currently about getting them out?
Well, you're 100% correct, Anna. We know that there are 173 hostages still held by Hamas. Of them, 128 men and 45 women. So of that 45 women, where hopefully we'll see a large group come out in the next 2 days, where we're supposed to have 10 today and 10 tomorrow. If we can extend it, in other words, if Hamas agrees to continue releasing hostages, that will be a good thing. Ultimately, we want to see them all home. That's one of the aims of our operation. It is to defeat Hamas, to end its rule over Gaza, and get all our hostages home.
Real quickly, have you received proof of life to know that those 75 hostages, 73 hostages, 173, if I do my math correctly, are still alive?
So I'd like to be able to tell you that I know they're all alive, but I can't do that. We don't know that for sure. We are, of course, worried. We've had 2 examples already of hostages that were taken on October 7th, on that terrible day of the massacre. 2 women, both of them, we found their bodies in Gaza dead. Both of them were taken alive. So, of course, we fear for the fate of all those hostages. And that's why it's so important that if there's an opportunity to get them out now, well, let's get them out as quickly as possible, because as long as they're under Hamas's control, they continue to, those who are still alive, continue to be in grave danger.
Ambassador, what's your response to those who are hoping that this is the beginning of the end, this temporary ceasefire sort of day to day, and they're seeing this perhaps as a possible segue to broader peace talks that could end this war?
So I understand that people want to see the end of bloodshed. We'd like to see the end of bloodshed also, but you can't have a quick fix that just creates more bloodshed tomorrow. And anything that leaves Hamas in power just guarantees that. I mean, the Hamas leadership has repeatedly said that they would do the October 7th massacre again and again and again. This is a brutal, violent, extremist, fanatical terrorist organization. There's no coexistence with Hamas. We saw that on October 7th. And I would say more than that, that the threat of renewed Israeli military action is actually driving the release of hostages, because we've been hitting Hamas hard, as you know. We've been destroying its military machine. Right. We've been eliminating its senior command. And their desire for a timeout is actually driving the release of hostages.
Quickly, if you will, on Sunday, Hamas acknowledged 4 senior leaders had been killed so far. The IDF has reported, dozens of other Hamas fighters killed or captured in the past several weeks. If the goal is to eradicate Hamas, can you give us a tangible sense of just how far along Israel is in achieving that goal? What percentage of Hamas is left?
So we're not there yet. That's clear. And we're taking a pause now to get our people out. But the mere fact that Hamas has agreed to the release of hostages shows you what pressure they're under. And that pressure will increase until we have a new situation in Gaza, where Hamas no longer runs that territory. And that'll be good for the people of Israel, who don't have to live in fear of constant terror attacks from the Gaza Strip. But it's ultimately also good for the Palestinians who live in Gaza, who deserve better than this terrorist extremist regime that doesn't give a hoot about the well-being of the people of Gaza.
Okay, Ambassador Mark Regev, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you for continuing the dialogue and keeping us updated. Good to have you here.